This isn't some TV show or made-up story. What happened in that courtroom was real and wild. Remy Ma didn't just lose her temper. She fell apart right there in front of the judge, the jury, and everyone watching. And the person who caused it? None other than 50 Cent. Yeah, that 50 Cent. He didn't show up for a concert, or to settle a rap beef. He came to testify in the murder case involving Remy Ma's own teenage son. And what he said completely destroyed her legal defense. Now, people are asking, what did 50 know? Why was he even in court? And how did just a few words from him turn everything upside down? Forget what you've seen on TV. This wasn't some dramatic show, it was real life, and it was explosive. This trial already had people talking, but once 50 took the stand, it became something nobody saw coming. The whole thing started with tragedy. Remy's 14-year-old son was found shot near a warehouse in Staten Island. At first, the story was labeled as just another case of street violence. But whispers started spreading. People said there were connections to gang activity, retaliation in the rap game, and a cover-up. Then things got even messier. Some texts were leaked, messages between Remy and someone with serious street ties. The messages were strange, full of codes like, handle it before it spreads, and, he knows too much. Remy's legal team claimed the messages didn't mean anything shady. But prosecutors weren't convinced. And then came the moment that blew everything wide open. In a shocking twist, prosecutors called a surprise witness to testify. Someone they said had private conversations with Remy before the murder. That person turned out to be 50 Cent. At first, people thought it was a joke. Why would 50 Cent be in court for this? But then he actually showed up, wearing a gray suit, calm, cool, and confident. And suddenly, no one was laughing. When 50 walked into the courtroom, the entire mood changed. The room got quiet. Not even the security guards moved. Remy's lawyers looked nervous. Papoose, sitting a few rows behind her, stared at the floor. And Remy? She didn't show any emotion, at least not yet. The prosecutor asked him one simple question. Did Remy Ma ever talk to you about her son knowing too much about her business? 50 paused, leaned in, and said two words that stopped everything. She did. That's all it took. 2 words, and the entire courtroom erupted. Remy's lawyers jumped up, shouting about hearsay and trying to stop the damage. But the damage was already done. According to someone in the courtroom, Remy whispered, he's lying. But her hands were shaking. This wasn't just gossip anymore. This was real. And things were about to get worse. See, 50 and Remy Ma aren't just casual industry friends. They have a long and complicated past, one full of tension, history, and trust issues. Some believe 50 was there to get revenge. Others say he's telling the truth and just doesn't care what happens. Either way, his testimony carried weight, and it hit hard. If what 50 said is true, that Remy worried her son might talk, then this isn't just about being a strict parent. It points to a motive. And when you're on trial for murder, motive can change everything. But the surprises didn't stop there. A court document leaked after 50's testimony revealed a chilling message, one where Remy allegedly texted someone, saying, if he talks, it's over for all of us. That made things even darker. Who's us? Was it just her and Papoose? Or was it something much bigger? The internet exploded. Everyone had a theory. Some said Papoose might have known more than he let on. Others believed this was connected to long-standing drama in the music world. And as if things weren't already chaotic, surveillance footage surfaced. It showed Remy's car near the crime scene at 3 a.m. the night of the shooting, something her team never mentioned in her original alibi. And guess who leaked that footage? A source supposedly connected to someone in 50's circle. Back inside the courtroom, things got more intense. Fans stood outside chanting, some for Remy, some against her. Protesters were arguing on the courthouse steps. Someone even spray-painted "Guilty MA" on her SUV. And Papoose? He didn't ride home with her. He left in a different car, no eye contact, no goodbye. Then came another twist, a recording. A housekeeper, who worked inside Remy and Papoose's home, claimed she captured a heated argument days after the murder. In the audio, a man says, you said you'd handle it clean. Now 50's talking on the stand. And the woman, allegedly Remy, replies, I told him to stay out of it. He did this to himself. Remy's team called the tape fake. But the court ordered a full investigation. And as they waited, more evidence came to light. Remy's financial records showed large amounts of money being moved around in the weeks before the murder. Some of the payments were labeled security, others confidential services. And many were sent through shell companies based in offshore locations. This raised even more questions. Who else was involved? Was she paying someone off? And if so, why? At the same time, people online went wild. Hashtags like hashtag Remy Ma exposed and hashtag 50 got receipts were trending everywhere. Rap blogs, podcasts, and even news stations were all covering it. Celebs gave their opinions too. Cardi B said the whole thing felt shady. Fat Joe just posted a prayer emoji with no caption. The message was clear, this was bigger than just one case. And just when it felt like it couldn't get any messier, Remy dropped the biggest bomb of all. As court ended for the day, she leaned over to Papoose and whispered something so cold, so intense, that the court reporter actually stopped typing for a second. She said, "You said he'd never talk." And with that, everything changed. That one sentence confirmed it all. 50's words weren't just a surprise, they were a betrayal. And Remy's world? It was collapsing in real time. Her lawyers scrambled to recover, but the damage was too deep. The judge wouldn't throw out 50's testimony. Instead, he said if more evidence supported it, it would stay in. And folks, there is more evidence. So much more. This isn't just about Remy Ma anymore. This is about power, secrets, and the moment everything comes crashing down. One testimony shook the whole room. And now? The fallout is just beginning. She didn't just walk away quietly, she destroyed everything, then handed the pieces to the press like a gift. And just when things couldn't get any more dramatic, Jasmine Dior came storming back into the scene. You remember her, right? The fiery woman who never stays quiet? She showed up outside the courtroom in a long red trench coat, holding what looked like a diary. And not just any notebook, it was said to belong to Remy Ma's late son. Jasmine claimed it was full of dark thoughts, fears, and warnings. But the most chilling part? One sentence on a page that read, "If anything happens to me, don't trust her." That hit everyone like a punch to the chest. Remy's legal team tried to dismiss it right away. They said it was fake, planted just to ruin her case. But prosecutors had it verified. They showed proof that the handwriting matched her son's previous notes, confirmed by both his school and therapist. That diary became a turning point. So, let's add this up: 50 Cent's explosive testimony, financial records linking Remy to shady payments, secret audio from her house, and now a journal entry from the victim himself. Her claim of innocence? It's starting to fall apart completely. And then things got even stranger. Papoose, her husband, vanished. He stopped showing up to court. No explanations, no posts on social media, no updates. Just silence. The media started chasing his team for answers, but they got nothing. Then, out of nowhere, a handwritten letter, supposedly from Papoose, was leaked. It was delivered anonymously to a Bronx journalist. The letter read, "I tried to protect my family. I never thought it would come to this. If she goes down, we both do." People immediately started asking, was Papoose turning against her? That one leak sent the internet into overdrive. TikToks were being made by the hour. Fans were reenacting courtroom scenes, adding background music, fake tears, the whole thing. Meanwhile, Remy's old songs started blowing up again, streams went up over 300%. Because let's face it, nothing gets more attention than a scandal this big. But with the attention came criticism. Civil rights groups started asking why this celebrity trial was getting all the spotlight, while everyday victims barely get noticed. Others accused the prosecutors of using 50 Cent for publicity, not justice. Still, more evidence kept coming in, and it only made things worse for Remy. One of the most shocking claims came near the end of the trial. Prosecutors linked Remy Ma to an underground group, people who clean up crimes for the rich and famous. They said the same man who got rid of her son's phone and erased warehouse footage had helped cover up a different rapper's scandal years ago. This was no longer just about one person. It was about a whole system of secrets. Even the judge seemed shaken. A hot mic caught him during a recess, whispering, "If even half of this is true, she's going away forever." That told you everything. And just when it seemed like the trial couldn't twist any further, it did. Another witness stepped forward, someone from Remy's inner circle. Tasha Dinaro. She used to be Remy's assistant and close friend. In fact, Remy once called her family. But that day, the loyalty was gone. Tasha walked into court in all black, holding a single sheet of paper. She didn't hesitate, she spoke clearly, saying, "I stayed quiet because I was scared. But what happened to that boy wasn't a mistake. It wasn't random. It was planned." That made the entire courtroom freeze. Tasha said that 2 weeks before the murder, Remy held a private meeting. Papoose was there too. They talked about her son snooping through her drawers, reading documents, asking questions that could expose people. And then Tasha dropped the line that changed everything, "If he keeps talking, I might lose everything." That was the moment Remy finally broke. No more icy stares or tough talk, she cried. Real, painful tears. Someone inside the court leaked a 15-second audio clip of it. That short video now has over 2 million views online under the hashtag #RemyBreaks. Outside the courthouse, the scene was out of control. Fans turned into protesters, some shouting, "Free Remy," others demanding justice. One guy even yelled, "First 50 Cent, now Tasha. Who's next, Beyonce?" It was chaos. Then, another bombshell, Papoose finally came back. No flashy chains. No wedding ring. He sat down as a witness. When asked if he was at that secret meeting, he nodded. When asked if Remy had said her son's behavior could ruin her, he said yes. Remy looked like her whole world had crashed. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. And when they asked why he was testifying now, Papoose said the coldest line of the trial, "I loved her, but I'm not going to prison for her." That quote is now everywhere. It's a meme, it's printed on t-shirts, and even being turned into rap lyrics. And just like that, the prosecutors rested their case. No more surprises. No more evidence needed. They walked out of court calm and confident. Remy's team tried to push back. They called old friends to say she was a loving mom. They blamed the pressure of fame. But the damage was already done. The jury had seen too much: 50's shocking statement, Remy's texts, secret recordings, her own son's diary, a former assistant's damning words, and now her own husband turning against her. This trial was no longer about guilt or innocence, it was about legacy, power, and betrayal. And when the jury finally returned, the world waited. But we'll save the final verdict for the next story. Because trust us, it's not over yet. Now we want to hear from you. Was justice done? Was 50 Cent right to speak up? Is Papoose a traitor or just trying to survive? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and follow. Because the next chapter in this saga is already in motion. And the next name being dragged into this? Way bigger than Remy Ma. Stay tuned.